Hey vinyl community, it's Dwayne Rock and Doc coming back at you with another video. This time we're going to take a look at some mail order stuff I got in May and the latter part of April. There's a lot of stuff here, so I'm going to try and make this quick so it's not a really long video. I won't talk too much about everything, I'll just show it to you. First off, we got some stuff I got from a Canadian online seller. Outfit's called Forbidden Beat Distro, and you can find them on Instagram. And I've been meaning to order some stuff from him for quite a while, but I never got around to it. So this month I actually did put in an order and got quite a few things from him. First off, we'll start off with this one. This is Wayne Kramer and the Pink Fairies, it says, but that's kind of a misleading. As far as I can tell, the only Pink Fairy that plays on this album is Larry Wallace. The rest of the band, as far as the notes go, didn't mention any other Pink Fairy other than Larry Wallace. Anyways, this is called Cocaine Blues. It's an album of some live recordings and some studio stuff. There's a little blurb on the inside and some pictures. Haven't had a chance to really read it. But anyways, there's the track listing. Side one is tracks that were recorded in 1978 at Dingwalls, which I believe is in London. And the other side, side B, has got some tracks, studio tracks from 1978, and these last two, I believe, were studio tracks in 74. And the live tracks, the sound in those are pretty good. They're not great, but they're really good. So, good thing for that. Anyways, that's Wayne Kramer and some of the Pink Fairies. Or one guy from the Pink Fairies. Cocaine Blues is the name of the album. Also got this one. This is Eddie and the Hot Rods. Carnaby 2 Island, the demos. And that's exactly what it is. Early demos just before they signed. And the difference between the Hot Rods on when they first appeared on LP and these demos is they had a fellow named Lou Lewis in the band for these demos who played harmonica. And this is a Record Store Day from 2022 that I finally got. And there's the little blurb, so if you want to pause it and read the hype sticker. There's the back track listing. So Eddie and Hot Rod's demos. Got this one, the Wild Cherries, 16 pounds of R&B. They're an Australian band, not very well known outside of Australia. And these are 60s recordings. And I'm not sure about this, whether any of the tracks on this album were released as singles. You'll see there, if you the track listing, a lot of them are covers, but some great R&B, and like the hype sticker says, and it's even hard to read because it's really small printing, but right at the bottom it says that if you're into like the Kinks or the Pretty Things, that the Wild Cherries will probably be a band you'd like. And I agree. The Wild Cherries. Next up is some glam rock from England by the band Hello. And this is a collection of singles and rarities from 1971 to 79. And if you see in the back, there's some covers of some of their singles. And side one is actually and it's in order 72 to 75 single tracks, A and B's, and then the second side is says rarities 1971 to 79, so it's probably tracks they recorded and didn't release. And here's another band of recordings that were done but not released. This is the RPMs with the album Temporary Satisfaction, and they're a power pop band from Milwaukee. And story goes that there's a couple of tracks on this album from one or two singles they released, and they did release enough tracks to do a full album, but the main guy from the band moved to Florida, and then the band broke up, so they never released the album. But this has tracks from that album that never got released. That's the RPM's Temporary Satisfaction. And more power pop with a band that never released an album. They recorded stuff, but it never got released. They're called Radio City, and the name of this album is Class of 77, although it doesn't say anywhere on the jacket the name of the album. Comes with an inner sleeve with a little blurb about the band and a timeline. So anyways, they're a band from New York who was active during the big punk explosion in New York, and they were doing a lighter power pop, so they couldn't get any interest, and the clubs didn't want to put them on because the clubs were doing the New York punk bands, so they couldn't get any good slots at the clubs because of that, and they just didn't get any interest. They recorded a bunch of demos, which this is made up of, that never got released until I think this actually came out last year, I believe. But it's a really good album if you're into power pop. So that's Radio City, Class of 77. Then some more power pop, some US power pop. This is Jeff Palmer with his album An Otherwise Negative Situation. And sorry for the glare because I left the shrink on these. But if you look at the hype there, it says Jeff is a power pop punk, and then it says good old regular black vinyl. So there's the band on the back with the track listings. And more US power pop. This is Brad Marino, Basement Beat. And it's just him. He plays all the instruments except the drums, and they're done by a guy named Bo Basement. So I'm assuming that's why this is called Basement Beat. But for just the two guys together, this is a great album if you're into the high energy power pop. Highly recommend this album. And he's got it on sale right now. I think this was only like $10 Canadian. And then two more that I got. The fellow that actually owns Forbidden Beat Distro is in a band called the Vapids. His name is Jimmy Vapid. And I got their latest, which was released last year. They're a punk band out of the Toronto area. This is like I said, their brand new one called Revenge Therapy. lot of tracks on this album. It's kind of a fast, short, energetic punk. Comes with the lyrics on there. There's the band, and I think that's Jimmy Vapid right there. I think. I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure. And it comes in this neat kind of gold and silver splatter vinyl. And I also got, this is a reissue that another one they did last year. This is actually a compilation. It's called New Wave Humor. There's a track listing, picture of the band. But side one of this album has tracks from a split album they did in 2003 that only came out on CD. So the first album on this one has the tracks the Vapids did on that. Oh, it was a split CD with a band called The Rip-Offs. So, like I said, side one has the Vapid tracks off that split, and then the first three tracks on three tracks. I'll get it right. 3 tracks on side 2 are from that same split, but it's actually the Vapids doing three tunes from the Rip-Offs, and then that original split had another bunch of tracks by the Rip-Offs themselves. And then the rest of the album has covers. There's a couple Ramones covers, and then I think it's like 3 covers from the Donnas. Anyways, that's the Vapids New Wave Humor. So that was all I got from Forbidden Beat Distro. And like I said, if you're interested he carries a lot of punk stuff and power pop stuff, but he's got other stuff too. You could check him out on Instagram. Oh, sorry. Got ahead of myself. Everybody knows I'm really big on compilations. This is a couple of compilations that I got at Forbidden Beat Distro. This is, it's called Boot Boy Discotheque Volume 1. And this is a bunch of UK, they call it junk shop glam. And it's all really obscure glam bands from the 70s. Probably nothing on here that you've heard of or I've heard of. But I played this, and this is a killer album. It's a lot of these kind of compilations, you'll get tracks that are recorded really good, and like these obscure bands that maybe put out one single. Some of them are not recorded very well, but all the stuff on this album is recorded really well. 14 Boover Rock Bruisers, and that's Boovers right there. They were kind of shoes, I guess, that guys that like to fight a lot used to wear because they had steel-toed tips on them. Anyways, one of the tracks on here is a BTO cover. I think it's BTO. Give me your money, please. But anyways, like I said, a great album. If you see it around, pick it up. And here's another one that's along the same lines. It's 70s again. Glam rock. They call it junk shop glam rock. This one's called Just Another Saturday Night. 12 rare, rude, and obscure boppers from the 70s boovers and glam rock scene. And this one's different than the other one because it's got bands not only from the UK but from other countries like Denmark and France, Germany, Australia. another really good album of this kind of stuff. So that was it for the Forbidden Beat distro stuff. I did get some stuff from Amazon, and I don't know if I have to censor this or not. This is the brand new one from the Dwarfs called Concept Album. Oh, I'm not gonna open the inner because it's got more titties on the inner, so I won't open the inner, the gatefold. But it's called Concept Album. Great punk band from where are the? I think they're from Chicago. If I'm wrong, you can let me know in the comments. Anyways, this is their brand new one. I'm not gonna bother if YouTube doesn't like it. They'll put me in jail or whatever. The Dwarfs Concept Album, brand new one, released last year. Then I saw this one, and I'm a big fan of Buffalo, but this is called Buffalo Revisited, Volcanic Rock Live. And this is a concert they did for the, I think it was the 40th anniversary. It was recorded in 2019, I believe. This album came out in 2022. But it's called Volcanic Rock Live. They do the entire Volcanic Rock album. When they did this show, they played the whole thing live, and but it's not the original Buffalo band. The only member that's still from the original band is vocalist Dave Tish. So it's not really Buffalo, it's Buffalo Revisited, because like I said, he's the only original member, but it's still a good album. If you get a chance, pick it up. The first ever live recording of the second landmark album from Australian heavy pub rock and proto metal pioneers. That's what the hype sticker says. So then I also got some stuff. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know I get stuff from a place in Steinbeck, Manitoba called Vinyl Experience. And I buy throughout the whole month, and usually at the end of the month I get them to pack it all up and ship it out. So I got another bunch of stuff, and this isn't all the stuff I got. This is just sort of the highlights. I didn't want to show it all because it would make this video too long. So anyways, I got, this one was new, still sealed, Deep Purple, last concert in Japan. This is the one with Tommy Bolin and David Coverdale. There's the band and the track listing. Got another Deep Purple. This was used, but still in the shrink. This is called Stockholm 1970, and this is a triple album set. There's the track listings. And I got John Lee Hooker, born in Mississippi, raised up in Tennessee. And here's John Lee with the track listing. And I got to mention, a lot of this stuff I haven't listened to yet because I just haven't had the chance. Here's Bo Diddley, Have Guitar Will Travel. A little blurb on the back. And the track listing. This one here, I got some Canadian stuff, and not sure, I didn't know what these guys were like, but I was interested because they're from the 70s. Band's called Jericho. This is their self-titled. And I'm not sure which of the guys, but one of them is from, he played in what's the name of that band again? He played in the Poppers. Yes, that was it. And another guy played with David Clayton Thomas. So this is basically 70s hard rock band from, I think they're from Toronto. More Canadian stuff. Foot in Cold Water, their self-titled debut album. I can't see what year it was. Would have been late 60s, early 70s, I believe. And this is the one with their big hit. Well, Canadian hit. I don't know how well it did in the States, but it was a hit here in Canada with Make Me Do Anything You Want. So that's a Foot in Cold Water. And then just a few of the highlights, other highlights. Got Fanny. This is Rock and Roll Survivors. This was their final album. They'd made some lineup changes. One of the sisters left, the guitar player. June Milligan was her name. And her sister played bass. Her sister still, at this point, was still in the band, but June left. They got in Susie Quattro's sister, Patty, to play guitars, and a new drummer. But they, I think they split up shortly after this album was released. There's the girls on the back with the track listing. Oh, more Canadian. This is Walter Rossi with the album called Six Strings, Nine Lives. And I'm not gonna, this thing all, that's why I got it. This is kind of a unique album. It all folds out into a big kind of full-sized guitar, so that's the reason I bought it, because it's a really unique album. And he's a great guitar player. He was once in a band called Charlie, and I believe they spelt it Lee at the end, not to be confused with the other band called Charlie that was the regular spelling, who they were a 80s or 90s AOR band. Charlie was kind of a 70s hard rock band, and he was the guitar player in that band, and I believe he's from Montreal. Anyways, if you get a chance to pick this album up, like I said, it's got a really unique packaging. And then I picked up this thing just from the cover. I have no idea what these guys were. They're called Darlings. Put It Down to Experience. Not a great album, but it's pretty good. I think I'll probably keep it. They play kind of I don't know, that 80s kind of synth rock. There they are in the back. And lastly, this one, another comp. I love comps. Everybody knows that. This is called the British Invasion, the best of British rock. And this is mostly stuff from the 60s and I think early 70s. It's got like Manfred Mann, Petula Clark, Mungo Jerry, Swingin' Blue Jeans, Freddie and the Dreamers, that kind of stuff. So I did get, there was more stuff, but it was pretty common stuff. I'm not even going to bother showing it. There was like Joe Jackson, and I finally got a Beatles album back in my collection, the Let It Be album, and Foghat and a couple other things. So I won't bother showing those. Anyways, again, I hope you like this video, and if you do, please hit that like button and subscribe. And again, I don't know when I'll be doing my next video. I'm going back to Edmonton, but that's not until June. So we'll wait and see if anything happens between now and then. Anyways, like I said, I hope you enjoy watching my videos. I don't do any edits because I don't know how, and if I make mistakes, I've tried to put the corrections on the bottom in those little letters that run across the bottom, but I haven't really figured out how to do that. I did it once and it actually worked a long time ago, one of my older videos. So that's, if I make a mistake and it's not corrected, that's why. I don't do any editing, and I don't know how to put up those things to make corrections. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. And like I always say, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you next time.